Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT episode 555 and NXT UK episode 87, broadcast on April 1st and 2nd, 2020. Before I get into these, I wanted to mention a couple of other things that I watched recently that I recommend checking out. I watched 2 seasons of Dragonball Super in the last couple of days, and I am enjoying it. There's some stories I had no idea were happening on the show because they're not in the manga at all. More specifically, there's the story of what's his name, who's a delivery guy. A galactic delivery guy, and he goes to a planet delivering some not smart water. It's what was they even called? It's like intelligent water. It's water that then like absorbs everybody and becomes evil and all that. And then it becomes Vegeta, who goes there to save Goten and Trunks, who stowed away on the delivery vehicle, and then that water steals Vegeta's powers and his likeness, and basically becomes Vegeta. And I tweeted, I had no idea that this Gogeta storyline happens on the show. Because it reminded me of Gooigi in Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a copy of Luigi made out of goo. So, anyway, I've been enjoying it. The season 3 was mostly, what was season 3 mostly? Or maybe it was mostly season 4. But a good part of it was the tournament between universes 6 and 7, and I really, really enjoyed that. So now I'm kind of just biding my time until we get to the next tournament, because those are, I've said time and time again, the tournaments are my favorite part of Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Super has a bunch of them, so I really like that. But right now, they're in the midst of fighting Goku Black, with Trunks coming back from the future and all that stuff going on, which that stuff is in the manga, so I did know that this part was happening. So, go watch it. Dragon Ball Super, it's great. And then I also watched the first 6 episodes of this really great TV show, which I was avoiding for a little while, or I wasn't really avoiding it. It's not that I didn't want to watch it, but I figured I'm not really in the mood to watch that because of what I thought that this show is. The show's called Devs. It's originally airs on FX, and I think it's on Hulu before it's on TV, actually, or something. I'm confused by the dates that it has on the thing. But 6 episodes are available on Hulu right now. They come out 1 per week. And right before I watch this, Future Man, or whatever it's called, Future Man, the Future Boy, or what? The one starring the one guy from the Hunger Games movies. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Devs. It kind of has something to do with Devs, but it's not. It's not like part of a shared universe or anything like that. But it's also on Hulu. It reminded me, I haven't watched season 2 yet. Season 3 starts pretty soon. But anyway, actually, as I'm recording this, I think season 3 has come out. But Devs, it's 6 episodes right now. There's going to be 8 total, so there's just 2 more to go. And it's written and directed by Alex Garland, who you may know as the writer and director of Ex Machina, amazing film, and Annihilation, another amazing film, and this TV show, Devs, is also an amazing film. So I recommend it. I don't want to give anything away at all, but I would say before I started watching it, I just thought, I knew nothing about it just from the name and seeing that Nick Offerman was in it. I thought, oh, this is probably like another tech company workplace comedy type of thing, like Silicon Valley. Not that that's a bad thing at all. Or Mythic Quest, which just came out on Apple TV about a month ago or so, and I thought, I just watched Mythic Quest. I don't need to watch another one right away. I'll hold off a little bit. When I finally dived into it in the last couple of days, because I think I watched the first episode on Tuesday, and I watched everything else on late Wednesday night. But it's man, it's awesome. And I had no idea. I didn't know who the writer director was. I didn't know what the premise of the show was. I only knew the title and that Nick Offerman was in it, and just assumed from there. And you know what they say about assuming is that you assume things when you do that. So, man, it's great. Go check it out. Like I said, I don't want to give anything away about the show, but I would say it's a cross between the kind of show it is. It's kind of like a cross between a Halt and Catch Fire, maybe a little bit of The Americans, and then a bit of like a Westworld or Person of Interest. By the way, Westworld has been awesome. The Walking Dead has been awesome. I mentioned that in the comic book episodes that I recorded on Monday, I think. But Westworld's, oh man. And I'm starting to think that Westworld is actually a sequel to Person of Interest. And if you've seen Person of Interest, then you know how awesome that is. But yeah, Devs is great. Watch it. Westworld has been great. Watch it. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't finish watching Westworld season 2 until just a couple weeks ago, like a few days before the new season started. But yeah, that's all my talk about all the other shows that I've watched so far this week. I've watched some other stuff too, but that's like the complete stuff that I've watched. Maybe I have. Actually, I don't think I have watched any other stuff. It's all been. That was like 8 hours, 8.5 hours, 9 hours of Dragon Ball over the last couple of days, and then almost a full like 5 hours maybe of watching Devs so far. So anyway, that's on top of all the wrestling, of course. So let's get to the wrestling. I want to talk about NXT UK first because I watched it most recently. I just finished watching it a few minutes ago, and so I remember the most about it. I wanted to talk about before I forget, especially for the main event, which was like more than half of the episode anyway. But it was the Battle Royal, 20-man Battle Royal to determine who will be Walter's next opponent after Finn Balor, presumably. But who knows what's happening with any of that stuff. But this Battle Royal did happen, and it was pretty great. Of course, towards the beginning, when there's all 20 people in there with all battle royals, it's just a mess from that, like in those beginning parts. There'll be some highs here and there, some great moments. But before I get to talking about that in depth, there were two other matches. We opened up with Kaylee Ray and Jinny teaming up to take on Piper Niven and Dani Luna. Oh, I think it was, yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But Kaylee Ray won the match by pinning Dani Luna. And then up next we had Xia Li, or not Xia Li. Oh my gosh, this is what I get for only writing their first name. Xia Brookside. I haven't said her name in a while, so just seeing Xia, just like, also this week we had a match with Xia Li, but versus Amel. And Xia won that match via the Broken Wings, I think is the name of that finisher, which is kind of like what is it like? It's like a back stabber, like a backbreaker, but with her legs fully extended kind of thing. Sort of also a monkey flip, something like that. But it was all right. I don't know if she's used that. I don't remember her using that before, but if she may have, and I just don't remember very well because it's been a while since I've seen a Xia Brookside match. and they're talking about how it's been a while since she's been away for a while. So that was a good first half of the show. I like that it was they balanced the 20-man battle royal with 2 women's matches, so that was cool. So we had the battle royal. One of my favorite moments that I took note of. There are 3 parts that I took note of until the final 4 took place. There's a spot where a kid landed. He was thrown over the top and he landed on Saxton Huxley, I think it is. And so he gets him into a chokehold, and then Huxley just collapses forward and is on all fours, but A-Kid still hasn't touched the ground, and so he climbs his way up onto his back and then jumps back to the ring. That was pretty great. We also had a nice little showdown between Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, where they were kind of playful about it, but they ended up just going after each other, and Trent Seven ended up getting eliminated at the end of that little run-in. And then right before that, was this before that? Yeah, I think this is before that. We had Joseph Connors distract Ridge Holland by going out there and grabbing his nightstick in his hat. I was kind of making fun of him, and that got Holland distracted. He got eliminated at that point. So he got down to the final 4, all in each in a corner. Joe Coffey, Tyler Bates, Ilya Dragunov, and Alexander Wolf. Unfortunately, I did see who had won the match, so I wasn't really surprised at this. Through the entire match, I wasn't really surprised by anything, but I did really enjoy it nonetheless. So with these final 4, we had Joe eliminated by Alexander Wolf, and then Alexander Wolf was taken out by Ilya Dragunov, and then we get to the meat of the match, this final showdown between Ilya Dragunov and Tyler Bate. And honestly, this match could have just been these 2 fighting each other, and it would have been, I would have liked it just maybe even would have liked it more, because they would have had 5 more minutes. Well, or they could have had the entire time that the entire battle royal took place. But yeah, that's sometimes the trouble with a 20-man battle royal. It's the first 10 people eliminated, they didn't actually really even need to be in there. And then if you have just a 10-person battle royal, a lot of times you end up the first 5 people didn't even really need to be in there. So I think it really I think if given the option of 20-man battle royal versus 10-man battle royal versus a 5-man elimination match, with people eliminated by pinfall or submission and all that, I would take that 5-man match every single time, because it's very likely it's going to be a lot more action packed. Not necessarily action packed, but the quality of the action will be higher, I think, than with a battle royal. So I bring that up because I think that this will probably be the last new battle royal that from any company that we see for a while now. And I mean, it's probably not going to be for forever, but it's going to be at least a couple of months, I think, until we see another battle royal of any kinds. And most likely it'll just be a 10-man battle royal the next time we see one. But what was I saying about that? But you don't, like I said, I would rather see a 5-man elimination match than a battle royal. So that's not a huge loss, I don't think. To not have 20 guys just kind of randomly attacking each other and stuff. I mean, the opening moment where Castazono was trying to encourage everybody to attack the other 2 big guys, that was really funny. But that you could still do that kind of thing with just 5 people in there. Be like, hey, let's attack this other person. That sort of thing. It still works, kind of. But anyway, we had this moment that this whole part of the match with just these two was awesome. But we came down to Tyler Bate was on the outside of the ring and almost eliminated. He was like flying over into the whole Shawn Michaels, like hoists himself back up over the top in reverse. But as he's upside down, Ilya comes flying in with this European uppercut and just flings Tyler Bate off of the ropes onto the floor, and Dragunov wins. So that was super awesome. And definitely, like I said, I knew who was winning, but I still really enjoyed the match. Although I didn't know specifically how the winning spot happened. So now you have a lot more information than I had when I was watching it, but still, I think it's worth watching. And then over on NXT episode 555, so the first hour of this, I gave somewhat of my attention. I'd say like 90% of my attention. I think I was playing some Animal Crossing, maybe, to do my daily tasks or whatever. That game was kind of dumb. But anyway, yeah, I paid attention to the first half, and luckily most of the women's gauntlet match that I wanted to see happened before the hour break. But everything after that hour break, I was only just had on in the background while I was watching Survivor. I did not go back to watch it with my full attention, mostly because the commentary team was was great. Tom Phillips is great. But Sam Roberts was the other person on commentary, and that was just a drag. Although I would say it's very funny when he made one joke at the top of the show. He said something about Velveteen Dream having found his headband at a wedding or something, and it was just dead silence after he said it for like 5 seconds, and then Tom just goes on to the next thing. I thought that was really funny. But Velveteen Dream versus Bobby Fish in the opening match. Some good stuff there. Won by Velveteen Dream via the Dream Valley Driver. Then we had a promo interview backstage. Malcolm Bivens introducing his associates. They're not his friends. They're his associates. Rinku and Sarah, I think, are their names. And he calls themselves Bivens Enterprises. At some point, I'd say at TakeOver Boston, we're going to see Bivens Enterprises versus the Robert Stone brand. Company versus company. Brand versus brand. Powerhouse versus powerhouse. Or whatever. But in order to do that, Bivens Enterprises needs to recruit a woman to counteract Chelsea Green, and the Robert Stone brand needs to get back the outsiders, or the insiders, or the outliers. That's what they're called. Ready Mo and what's his name? Oh crap! Forget even I can remember the name that I would probably remember his name as. I definitely don't remember what his new name is. But the Dan Matha, I don't remember what his new name is. It's like Dragonzord Marvin or something. It's similar to Dan Matha, but like more absurd, like more like sci-fi made up names. But anyway, speaking of weird sci-fi made up things, Dexter Lumis has returned. He appeared on NXT TV like once or twice last year. Oh man, what is he supposed to be? I don't know. Whatever it is, I like it a lot. I think part of what I like about it is that we don't know what it is, and maybe we'll find out. Maybe we'll never find out. I don't know. But he's so weird, and I feel he's one of these three things, I think. He's either a robot, like a android, like a Westworld's style so who's very strong and just has no emotion, or like a Terminator, maybe more so like a Terminator, or he's an alien, a very human-like alien, but from a world where emotions and extraneous movements are not a thing. They're very. That brings me back. Oh, so devs. No, never mind. I don't want to talk about that. That would spoil a lot to say what I would want to think. I want to say about that in relation to what I was just saying. Anyway, go watch devs. He's either a robot or an alien or a super soldier from a scientific experiment. More so like the Winter Soldier than Captain America. As I think it was for nefarious purposes, and brainwashing was probably heavily involved, if that is the case. But anyway, so Dexter Lumis, he fights Jake Atlas, and I thought, poor Jake Atlas, he's about to be killed by this robot alien super soldier. He hit him with a slam, and they got into the headlock, and Jake Atlas tapped out. So Dexter Lumis standing strong in front of his peers, which he has none. So it worked out. That worked out really well. Then we had the 6-woman gauntlet to determine who gets a second chance, or all of them are getting a second chance, but this is the second chance gauntlet to get into that ladder match, and that ladder match is determine who will fight the NXT Women's Champion later on. So it's a multi-step process to get there. I'm fine with that. I've enjoyed all these things that happen. So we have Shotzi Blackheart enters first, and she fights Deonna Purrazzo, and she wins via the senton and a pin. Then Shotzi fights Xia Li. She defeats her via submission. Then she fights Aaliyah, who of course she fights her via submission. What the heck is this thing that I wrote down next to that? Oh, pin roll around. Like at the beginning of their bout, they kept reversing pins and then ended up rolling around the ring for a little bit. So that was kind of fun. And then Shotzi defeated Kaden Carter with a senton and pin, like she did with Deonna. And then she came to her the final challenger. It was Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai. I was rooting for Shotzi Blackheart. I was wearing my Shotzi shirt. Although before that, I accidentally put on my Dakota Kai shirt and thought, I should change it because I want Shotzi to win. It was the luck had already been given by which shirt I put on first, because Dakota Kai won with a little, I think, not really with the help of Raquel. I feel like it was more in spite of the attempted help by Raquel Gonzalez. But Dakota Kai did get the win, and I was glad that these were the last two. I wanted one of the two of them to win, and I was pretty satisfied with that. But she won via the Dakota Kai, and she will enter as the 6th member of that ladder match. So we have Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Tegan Nox, Mia Yim, Io Shirai, and who is the 6th person? And Chelsea Green, of course. I think Chelsea Green and Dakota Kai stand the best chance of winning because they have friends, they have associates, they have helpers outside of the ring that could be real game changers. But that could also be they could also be really big distractions. I think if they are game changers in a positive way, that either Robert Stone or Raquel Gonzalez are going to grab that contract from above the ring or whatever it is. It's probably a contract in a briefcase, or maybe it's on a clipboard. I don't know. But whatever it is, if it is something that they grab at the top of the ring, I think either Robert Stone or Raquel will grab that on behalf of their associates, friends, colleagues. But we'll see. That's my prediction for next week. Since there's not a takeover, I won't be talking about full takeover predictions. So that brings us to the next match. Was Kushida versus Joaquin Wilde. Kushida won via an arm bar that was like countered out with like he did like this arm drag thing, and that turned into an arm bar. It was amazing. Oh, and he gives him a handshake afterwards. But I totally missed this, but I keep missing it every week. Maybe they're cutting it out for on Sling or something. I don't know. But Joaquin Wilde outside in the parking lot gets abducted by a couple of luchas. Just like Raul Mendoza was kidnapped a few weeks ago. What is going on? And I didn't even realize this. This was after Raul Mendoza had faced Kushida as well. So are these guys associated with, are they associates? Are they colleagues? Are they friends of Kushida? Is this all some type of well, I don't even know what to call it. Is it time travel related? Are they needed to be harvested for their life energy or something? Now that they've proven that they could fight well enough against Kushida, but not enough to be defeated. I don't know. And he seems to be good at sport. I think it's all. We're going to find out that Kushida is behind this, even though he's being a very, very, very good sportsman and all that. It'll be some type of big reveal that he's been kidnapping them to like harvest their life energy. Like I said, a whole cure for wellness type situation. Go check out that movie. I wouldn't say it's a good movie. It's weird. It's worth seeing, I think. If you like weird horror stuff, go check out Cure for Wellness. Okay. Dijakovic versus Lee versus Priest for the North American Championship. Man, this match was great. This is probably, I'd say this is the best match of this new no audience era that we've entered into for the time being. It was like I didn't really care that I didn't think about there being an audience or not. I only thought about it later on. As I was talking to Conrad about a couple of matches and the whole no audience thing. So I was telling you should check out NXT UK because it was the last episode of NXT UK that was filmed with an audience, or filmed at all. And yeah, so I thought, well, this is probably the best match so far. We'll see. We have WrestleMania this weekend and the second half of our NXT takeover over 2 weeks type of thing. So there's definitely potential for other matches to be as good as this one was. But some highlights. There's this top rope spin kick by Damian Priest to Lee, who is like riding piggyback on Dominic's shoulders. That was crazy. And then they worked together. Damian and Dominic worked together to hit a choke slam on Keith Lee. Also, Damian Priest hit a razor's edge on Dijakovic. He threw him to the outside, but Keith Lee caught him like safe, like not even like was hit by him safely. He caught him right out of the air, but as he was like setting him down, Damian Priest went for a big flip overhead kick type of thing, which was pretty cool. And yeah, the decision came down to Damian. Okay, so Damian Priest tried to use his nightstick, but it wasn't effective because Keith Lee hit the Spirit Bomb and got the win. He's still the champion. So yeah, great match. Go check it out. And like I said, I think it's the best match we've had without the audience present so far in this last month. I think that's it. There's. Oh, I did want to mention something about Dragon Ball Super. In one of the fights, Vegeta. So in the battle, the tournament between Universe 6 and 7, between Beerus and Champa, Vegeta, he like hit this overhead kick, or he goes for an overhead kick, like full on. Oh, who does that? Who does that? It's not, because it was a overhead forward flip, not like the because we got the Pele kick, and then like that whatever else they call it that AJ Styles and Finn Balor do, but no, it was a forward front flip kick. But he like, it was a fake out, because then with his other leg he kicked upwards, so he's coming down with his foot forwards, spinning forwards, but while his other leg was tucked. But then he pulled that leg away, and then the other leg that was already down because he was spinning forwards, he kicked upwards with that leg, which is like physically impossible, obviously, but for a cartoon, it worked pretty well. It was super effective, and I liked it. It seemed very wrestling like. And then there was another like head scissors throw takedown sort of thing that happened a few episodes later that I really liked. And it got me thinking, I hope that there is at least one match that is just like a Dragon Ball fight. That's a lot of like, what is he doing? Is he charging up? I can't believe it. Unbelievable. That's impossible. That kind of thing. Like, not just trash talking, which we have seen already, but like, what movie is he getting ready for? All that kind of stuff. Anyhow, go watch Dragon Ball. Go watch Devs, and check out NXT and NXT UK from this week. I did not watch AEW this week, if you're wondering, because last week I talked about it a little bit. I didn't watch any of it this week except for like one clip that I saw of Chris Jericho in a hot tub. That's literally the only thing that I watched from it this week. But it was pretty good. That was pretty good. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Let me know what you thought about these episodes by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.